These guys right here, man, a lot of people don't remember these. A lot of people do. And a lot of people don't even know what these are. Typical Jordan brand stuff. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look at these guys right here. This, my friends, is the Jordan Jumpman Team Flow. So we do have a fun story about these, but we will save that for later, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will just give you a little teaser of the story. It's from when we first started going out. That's how long ago these shoes released. She was new to the sneaker thing way back then. And you know that meme when there's always like, because Jordan brand, not just Jordan brand, but Nike, but mostly Jordan brand, they got their shoe, right? Like the Concord, whatever. But then there's all these sub-team models that use the same colorways and the same color blocking. And there's always those memes every year being like, don't let your mom get you the wrong one. So that's just a little teaser for what the story is about. Stay tuned. But as for these guys right here, I cannot find any information about these at all. At all. It's like they disappeared from all catalogs. It's weird as shit. Normally you can rely on like eBay backlogging some of their old catalogs and stuff. These though, I could find stuff that released way before these. I could find stuff that released way after these. I cannot find a damn thing about these. It's weird. It's like 2003 just disappeared. It's insane. But yeah, this is a team model from 2003, 2004-ish. There's two versions originally. One was this one was a low. And these right here are the retro of the shoe. They're a little bit different than what we remember. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. But first things first, this was a performance shoe. So even though it's a retro and a new retro at that, it was a performance shoe first. It was, again, back in 2003. They have some Jordan brand lineage all up in the mix. So it's pretty cool. We'll break it down. Let's get started. First thing, you know what that is?
Wave bone.
Oh yeah, it is, man. This is awesome. And normally you see wave bone on Adidas products, but there was a short period of time when Jordan brand did use it. This right here is very reminiscent of the Air Jordan 18. Very much the same traction pattern, just a little bit different of an implementation. The little lettering right there says team. That was also a little play on the 18s. The little back right there, it's got the 18 font. They used to do this all the time where like the Jumpman Pro kind of took after the 12, the Pro Strongs and the Pro Quicks kind of took after the Jordan 13s. The Team 1s took a little bit after both the 12 and 13, yada, yada, yada. There's even the shoe back there with the other Eddie Jones. They're the ones with the zipper had the 15's tongue on it and stuff. So there was just all kinds of like callbacks to like whatever Jordan was relevant at the time, whatever the new flagship currently was at that moment.
So you can see why us moms or ladies or whatever get very confused.
Yes.
When we're trying to surprise somebody.
But that's what, yeah, but that's what happens though, is it's been happening for a long time, is that they try to sell you this stuff by tying it to the stuff that you really want. And it's just a big old marketing ploy, but sometimes it works. Sometimes they make good stuff. These were actually popular back in the day. Not mad popular, but they were pretty popular. They were actually worn by a lot of Jordan brand athletes. Gary Payton was one of them. He wasn't an official athlete, but he would wear their stuff like he wasn't part of the Jordan brand team or whatever, like Eddie Jones was. And Jason Kidd wore them. All kinds of players wore them at the time. And again, they featured the wave bone right there. Dope stuff, okay? The cushion though, the cushion is where I have a big problem because I don't know what they were originally. I just can't remember everything, unfortunately. What I assume that they were is air in the back and 4-foot Zoom Air, because that was the typical setup back then. That's what pretty much like all of those team shoes had. So if it wasn't the flagship model, the team model typically had air in the back, Zoom in the front. Sometimes it would be Zoom in both front and back. Rarely would it be full length. They did that originally with the Jumpman Pro, but I think they were using like leftover materials from like the 12s and stuff. The retro though has air in the back and nothing in the 4-foot. For a shoe that originally retailed for $100 and now they retail for $130 with less tech, that's just a don't buy it. I wouldn't even buy this on clearance. It could be like $20 and I still wouldn't buy it. It just doesn't have what I want in it. I'd rather take that 20 and go buy a burrito or something. Maybe some tacos on the side, chips and guac. But this, Now the tooling itself plays on, again, Jordan heritage, so you got a little bit of the 13 action going on there. You got the pods. This was, again, right around the time when not only was there the flagship shoe, but there was also brand new retro product and team products. So these guys right here were supposed to be white metallic silver, and instead they look white and gray. This is, the originals were metallic silver. These are gray, the retro. But these look very close to what you originally were planning to buy for my birthday or whatever, right? Way back then. And these are what I got instead. It was so funny. Anyways, the upper material is interesting. They say it's full grain leather on like all the websites, like Finish Line, Foot Action, Hibbett, blah, blah, blah. And it's really not. It's not full grain leather. It is leather. It's just not like great leather. It's nice and soft though, so I like that. They have that coat to it that makes it look textured or tumbled. And then there's weird material all over the shoe in addition to the leather. So we have that patent finish right here. Very strange. They actually made it all the way down to the midsole, which is cool. A very cool look. Again, playing on like the Jordan 13s. You can see that a little bit here too, where it's got that arch and stuff where there would normally be the perforated panel. It's not perforated, but you know, with the dimples. One of the very first burrito style tongues that I can remember. These guys fit very funky. It's not meant for lifestyle. It was meant for performance. And then the tongue itself, while perforated, it's patent leather. That was a bad choice. Even like thinking back on it, like back then, you're like, why would you do that? You know, that's just uncomfortable. But I love all the chrome hits. You got one right there on the toe cap. You got one right there on the eyelet panel. My favorite one though is that little guy right there. It's such a dumb thing, but it's so cool to me. Like it's just
aerator?
Yeah, it's like a little screen, something that you find in your kitchen sink. If you're a different breed, you might use this to keep your bowl unclogged.
In your extracurricular activities?
Hey man, do you, dude. I'm not judging. I don't care. All I know is that I really like that thing. That's all I'm saying. It's got a little Jumpman in there. Super cool. Now, as far as fit is concerned, they do fit true to size. They are a little bit on the short side, but that was the intention back then, because if you notice, that toe down view is hideous. It's just really wide and bulky and all that stuff. And again, this was very much a play on the shoes at the time. So the Jordan 17 and the Jordan 16s and the Jordan 18s. I said that all out of order. I should have said 16 through 18.
So what you're saying is Jordan was a fan of clogs for like 3 years in a row.
No, I did not say that. This style was supposed to be better for the foot.
Well, it looks like a clog.
I'm not going to deny that. I'm just saying that's not what their intent was. This was supposed to be better for toe splaying, and so that you don't jam your toes into the front of the shoe back then, because as we know, most of the shoes like were rounded. You know what I'm saying? And that's not exact. A foot doesn't look like that. Foot is like this. It goes up, then it tapers down. And so that's what this was all about. It also made the shoes fit a little bit wider, hence them fitting a little bit shorter. Performance-wise, I didn't play in these. I played in all the flagship shoes. So from the 16 through 18, the 16 was one where I felt like I had to go down half a size because it was too wide in the front. The 17s are very tight. So those I had to go true to size. They're tight right in the midfoot though. And then the 18s were also wide feeling. So like I like to go down half a size. They ended up feeling like these though. When you go down half a size, a little bit short, but you don't have all that wiggle room like laterally. And that's what I don't like. So for me, if I was gonna play in these, which I wouldn't because there's no tech in the front, which is dumb, you know, I would go true to size. So before we talk about these, should we talk about these?
Oh.
Or should I say these?
Merch.
Is it merch season? It might be. This is a hoodie, obviously, with a little bit of embroidering. This looks so slick. I cannot wait to wear these when it's not a billion degrees outside. But this guy right here, man, this looks good. Are we going to be releasing this merch? That's up to you guys. We'll probably be doing a pre-order. We will announce that stuff. Like, I'll announce it on my personal Instagram. And if you're a member of the Discord, they've seen this stuff like weeks ago. So those people get first dibs and early access. It might be a Discord only thing. We're just not sure yet. Don't go sign up for Discord being like, oh my God. It's not gonna be like that. We're gonna make sure that everybody that wants one gets one. We just don't know exactly how we're gonna do it yet.
But if you want to be first in the know, you should join.
Well, yeah, that like helps out the channel, and there's multiple different perks besides just being part of it. If you wanted to, you can. You don't have to. I appreciate it if you do, but I don't hate you if you don't. You know, I have to say I like that you're here anyways. But as for these though, these have a funny story. We were freshly dating.
Yeah.
Back in 2003. I was into shoes before you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like long before her. She was very new to it. So you knew what Converse were. You knew what Adidas were.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew what brands were, but she didn't know like models and this, that, and the difference between a team shoe and a signature shoe. And
we would go hang out at the mall because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And we went to...
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. It was called Sports Chalet, I want to say at the time.
Yes. And it turned into...
Sports Authority.
Yes. It was one of the first big box stores that I would tell people that like, I go in, I'm poor.
Yeah.
I can't buy anything, but I could try it on because you don't need an associate to help you.
And so that's what we did.
So...
we would like go up and down the aisles and he would show me what he liked, and his birthday was coming up, and so he had shown me a white
and gray
with a Jordan logo.
But it was the original Flint retro of the Air Jordan 12.
And
it was a new colorway, a retro plus colorway, and they looked kind of like these. but kind of not.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, okay, I know he wants these.
For the record though, I didn't ask her for these.
No, he didn't.
She took it upon herself to get me something that I would really like, which was very nice of you.
It was.
And when I opened the box, you guys know how honest I am, right? I've always been like this. I opened the box and I was like, thanks. Because it was these, but again, they were originally like metallic silver. Like they were like
I like instantly
silvery.
knew that I had messed up, and I was so mad at myself.
Well, the funny thing is that we went back there to return them because like I was adamant that we were keeping them. She was like, no, you're gonna return them and you're gonna get what you really want. There was a huge price difference. Again, these were $100 originally, so they were like barely affordable for people our age.
I know, I think I made like $8.50 an hour at the time.
Yeah, and so like we returned them and the Retro 12 was $150. And we were both like, well, we don't got $50. And so I think I ended up getting a pair of black and gum bottom Air Force One highs.
For work.
I
So
did get them for work, yeah, because I needed,
It turned into a practical gift.
which is perfect for me because all my gifts are like that. The thing is that I think I was on my own at that point, or was I about to be on my
You
own?
were about to be on your own.
Yeah, so I didn't have much money and I needed new work shoes, and we worked at AMC at the time, the theater. Thing was like you could wear whatever shoes you want as long as they're all black and they're polishable. And so most of everybody wore the hard bottom shoes because they're polishable.
Yeah, we all like went to Payless and bought $20 shoes, and then there's this guy.
I refused to put myself in Payless shoes again. And so I was just like, no. So my current shoe at the time was a pair of DC skate shoes, but they were made out of leather. And so they were technically polishable. So I was like, hey, I can polish these if I want to. You can't make me, you know what I mean? Like switch them off and stuff. But I got them for like $40 or whatever. And they were so thrashed. And so I got the Air Forces because they were polishable, all black. I did not have to then buy a pair of new work shoes, so it worked for me. And I still have not gotten a pair of Flint 12s. So, because nowadays they'll fall apart, like the glue and stuff. And then they launched the 12 in a white and gray colorway that were very close to the Flint 12s, but they were not it. We reviewed them. They had the zigzag style.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Yes, I do
And they had like nubuck stripes instead of leather stripes. Not as good as the original shoe, but it was close enough. So that's our memory with these. As soon as she saw these, she was like, she was like, it's those. You know what I mean? Like we
like
haven't.
a boomerang, and it found me.
Yeah, like we hadn't seen these since then. Like it was like out of sight, out of mind. But anyways, that pretty much takes care of it for these guys. This is the Jumpman Team Flow. I guess it's nice to see them back, kind of. I think it's interesting that somebody at Jordan Brand is looking at these old models and being like, you know what, people might appreciate this. But you know what we'd really appreciate is if they had all the tech. Although, I will say to preface, or not to preface, but to save face, is that I don't remember the original tech specs. So for all I know, this could be it, but I doubt it. Because back then, like I said, man, Jordan Brand was notorious for doing the same thing on every shoe. Because Nike would do it too. But anyways, that takes care of it for these guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Let us know if you remember these or not. If you do, share your story. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, guys, have a good one.